Blog
Aloha.
Talk Radio.
Aloha. Gaia Sophia Dreaming. Mike here. Thank you for tuning in with the heart. Much love. Much gratitude. Where we all live in one, in unity, in sharing, in true freedom life. Where we live in our awareness, and there's no separation, because that was just an old-fashioned love song, an old way to think. And thankfully, we don't have to think with that mind anymore. We can express our heart with sound, beyond any limiting thought program, any limiting belief system. So yeah, I'm happy. So we got Kerrace here today, Kerrace Alexander. Beautiful. You can check her out, Big Fish Strategies on YouTube. You can go Gaia Sophia Dreaming also. And yeah, I just get feeling the joy, feeling the love, feeling me. That's something Kerrace has reminded me of. It's like, Mike, take a moment. You know, think of something or feel yourself or feel someone you love, and that feeling now. Remember that feeling now. Go inside and have that feeling inside you. When you start to tune in with that calm, warm, and then it seems to resonate more, and you feel the joy. You actually feel the light, and you feel this warmth. I sometimes say this, like your mom's giving you a hug, because she is. And like this is, hey, you're recognizing this feeling. This is more who you are than any name or reference point. This is tuning in with the true feeling and sound, and then you'll come into the sound of, if you want to put an expression to your soul essence. You know, sometimes I'm like, it's a a little laughter. So aloha. See, we got Kerrace here, I feel, any moment.
Aloha, how are you?
Hey.
Aloha.
Hey, that's Janet there also. Hey, Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Janet.
Aloha, good to hear you. Oh,
So,
you too.
Janet's been away with family the last few days, and so usually we get to hear her beautiful laugh here in the beginning to just tune in the heart. It's just so lovely.
Yep, happy to be here.
All right. So, Kerrace, I did my home joy. Let's not call it homework. Let's call it my home joy. And and you asked me a question, and yeah, I had to like even before I went to sleep, that was what I was like tuned in with my heart, like you were sharing, and then feel into that, feel into your dream, feel into what you want to co-create, feel what is already you're co-creating and it's coming into fruition. How would you like that to? How do you feel that being? How do you see that? And this was beyond any thought, actually, when I was doing this. And what was interesting there, it was like I was sharing earlier, the images was forming, and I wasn't thinking of specifics, so to say. Okay, I got to do this, write it out. But it was forming in like, okay, this is what's going to get done. This is what you get to do. This, could have some attention. And there was a beyond thought in the way I was seeing it and seeing what can be done and what I feel I'd like to do, and it was really beautiful and it was at ease, and I'm laughing because, well, I was in the heart, and so that was really interesting for me to notice, and it was that just felt pure creation.
That's beautiful. It was, so you're playing, you see? You're playing now, right? So that's what we're playing it. We're playing in the heart. We get to play when we're in the heart, when we're in tune with that which we are. And so what falls away is the personality. What falls away is time. What falls away is space. It's just, you're there in the presence of your essence. And so when I tell people, to go to that feeling place, that's your unique energy signature. That is unique to you. No one else has that feeling, that feel-good feeling. And so, in essence, what we are up against right now is that humanity is wanting to experience more of itself as awareness, but doesn't know that. Because ultimately what we want to do is to feel good. But I like the way that you came through and were able to experience yourself playing with your imagination and getting into the feeling of what it is that you are or want to manifest.
Yeah, I can hear you. It's a little staticky, a little crackly sometimes. It just.
Oh, okay.
Like you were sharing, and so I found that interesting. I wasn't thinking about it. In this society, I found that very interesting. It was like, I need to use my mind in this moment because we don't. The true imagination is in the heart, and here we are, and that's what. And so, in terms of, there was no worry. There was no, how am I going to do this? That wasn't even part of the picture. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, so it's about creating differently, right? From a whole different place, right? So this
Yes.
is what we're moving into, and a lot of people are still caught in, I'm in the heart now, and they don't really know what to be doing. So that's why I suggested you do the exercise of being in the heart and being the feeling sensation, and then doing your visualization and creation, imagination from that place. And it's a different trajectory than the left brain. We've been brought up into this system of consciousness in terms of, we've been brought up in the system of consciousness, and we've learned how to create within this system for this system, you see? And it's a creation that has been a creative way of being in the system that has been imposed upon us. It's not our natural way of creating, and yet what we are coming to recognize and realize as we traverse through the heart, we've learned how to be in the heart now, and now we're moving to the next stage. Some of us are moving to the next stage where we can create from this place, where we can play in the heart area and manifest our desires and wishes from this place. And this is the correct way of creating, because when you go to that feeling sensation, you are actually experiencing your creative potential. That's as close as I can get it to get people to understand who and what they are in physical form, is that feeling sensation. And so that's what I consider to be the creative potential in this physical dimension that we have access to. Okay?
Yeah.
And so for me, what it feels like is that when I say that I'm awareness and I'm just resting in a constant state of paradise, I mean, that's for me. I mean, it's actually, it's a virtual reality frame in which I'm experiencing my physical life at this stage of my life. So when I say that I'm awareness resting in a constant state of paradise, I actually live in a state of paradise. And it's actually a probability that I've chosen that I'm living and existing within now. I imagine that. I mean, it's so cool. But I actually physically feel that. I experience that as awareness, right? It's a construct in which I'm creating within that I've manifested. And people probably say, well, like they're probably like, their mouths are wide open, their eyes are boggling. Like, how can that be? It's like, well, how can this reality that we're experiencing be as it is? How can we give it so much value and so much credence, and yet it is a reality frame in which we've been born into? There are other reality frames. Yep. And so we have to open our perspectives or widen our perspective so that we can embrace more. I mean, that's the glory of being right now. And so we are choosing not to have this reality that, you know, some of us are choosing not to have the reality that's being spoon-fed to us through this consciousness system. We're choosing to create a different reality, and for some of us, we can do that through the heart space. And so as more of us can do that, then it'll be like a ripple effect, and more people will be able to engage that process and do it. But this is leading edge stuff. This is very much on the fringe. And I would have to say that there are a number of people doing this that are not being vocal about it. They're kind of doing it behind the wings.
Yes.
But this is, you know, this is a reality that we can all experience. But we are there's so many of us caught in our physical life experience and give so much value to it. So we're all having different experiences, but it's, you know, a lot of people would say, well, this is quite magical, what you're talking about. It's not. It's just that we've just been denied our right to create in a way that's honoring and authentic to who and what we are, and we have not been in the position of being able to have our power. And this is allows us to take our power back, you see, our power to create.
Yeah, well, it tunes us into what was always here. Yes.
So freeing, hey?
Right, because it's in the moment. Is that it's your natural, like you're sharing. This is naturally how we be, and so it's not. In a sense, yeah, you're claiming your power back, and then you realize, oh, wait a moment. This is how we truly be. This is how we naturally flow. This is how we were doing it right now, as you were sharing. But we would just, we bought the old program. We're like, well, we returned to sender that one, and have been living in awareness, and similar to you, it was to rest in paradise, which was for me to be, you know, enjoy and relax in paradise. I've been sharing this for over 20 years. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. And then I did it. And I was just like, oh, wow. And then you'd share and people would go, yeah, lucky you or great you. And I was like, wait a second. I think I had a bit in having that enter my life. Because this is what I was thinking, and no, this is what I was feeling, and I would express that. And so, as I share sometimes, here I am in the heart of Aloha, and I can be down in the dumps and miserable and not recognize the paradise that's right with me. For me to not recognize it's pretty, and I set it up this way. Michael, if you can't recognize this, man, there's something, you need to clean yourself up some because it's right here. And so like that, when I tune into that awareness and I have the moment to just be, and I feel the paradise around me, I remember that this is accessible to all right where they are. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's physical location? It's, yeah, that's just one aspect of it in terms of, wherever you are, that you can tune into this feeling and in awareness, because it's not, you don't even go into it, you are, and feel this where you look you're looking from your heart now. When you look from your heart in this moment, and you happen to be like, it's just so beautiful in the fact that you're reminding me clearly how I find simple that we're doing it already, and that I can look around and go, oh yeah, man, we climbed that mountain already. And then I look at others and go, you did too. Because I'm like, oh, how do you know that, Mike? Because you got a heart. And that core of your heart, that what we say is that spark of life that we all have, that different references that what this is, but this is your doorway to you and all. It's just like, where's that portal at? It's the portal in your heart. Well, how do I open that door? It's always open, actually. But it's this little spot. Yeah, once you find that so-called, that what we call is like this core essence, this all spark, as well, all source, and it opens up everything. And instead of becoming like one little, let's say, just spot, it becomes the all. It's like, then you look outside and you're like, wow, that's everywhere. The core is everywhere. Love is everywhere. It's all awareness. Well, hey, I'm not jumping back into that other mind, to that what we did before, and how we thought we created, and then what we did actually start having in our life, and realizing, you quite easily have the power to change all that with by just looking at the world differently, shifting your perspective, but also when you tune into your heart, as you were sharing earlier, it aligns with the universe. It aligns with divine will. It aligns with true source. And you shared this feeling.
So you there? You feeling it?
Yeah, I'm feeling it. It's just lovely, because we all live here. This is where we truly live, here.
Exactly. So we're playing now, right? In this moment, in this virtual, timeless moment, we are just playing now. And so whatever happens in this moment is what happens in this moment, right?
Right.
So what do we want to create in this moment? What else is coming up in this moment? And Janet's with us, and other people are on the line, right? So as everyone just tunes into their heart, whatever that is for you, you can feel the resonance here. You feel the vibration within yourself. Tune into that. And we're just going to play in this space. And so when we play in this space, what we do is we attune to whatever arises for us in this moment. And the mind will want to come in and distract you. So it's moving from mind awareness to heart awareness. It's like dancing. It's like mixing music, right? It's like you're doing the tango. So the mind will come in. So you just tell the mind, no, I'm going into the heart. Because the mind chatter is the ego. Doesn't want you to go to the heart. The ego likes it when it's in control, when you're in the mind, and you're in that constant chatter. So just notice that. So as we're here in the heart, We're here in
This
the
is
heart.
we've been creating all along. All the joy and happiness and laughter, all really the good things that happened in your life, flowed from your heart. You're already doing this, so don't discount your worth by thinking, "Oh, I can't do that," or "Oh, maybe someday I'll be able to do that." I'm like, you're doing it right now. Put a smile on your face.
It's your right.
It's your right. It's
Your divine right. I think you've been denied that right. It's been usurped from you. But that's changing, right? All things human are fading away, as in the movie Lucy, right? The movie Lucy. I have been talking about Lucy for about 4 months now. It hasn't even come out yet. And, well, maybe since March, because I tune into movies. I don't watch them, actually. Look, I scout the upcoming movies for the year, and I see where the timeline of what those that are in the power control boards, what I call them, what they're putting out to the mainstream media and movies, to see what is happening from an energetic standpoint. And so I do a synopsis on these movies. Some of the movies like that are more spiritually based or transcendent type based movies. And Gravity was one that I did, Transcendence for this year, and Lucy and Under the Skin. And Lucy I actually did a synopsis twice. It's my second time doing it, because since April or March of this year, I've been really feeling like this matrix of this control system that we're currently in has been dismantling off me physically. That's what I'm feeling. And so when I saw the trailer for the movie Lucy, I said, I listened to one of the phrases in there. She says, all things human are fading away. It feels like all things human are fading away. And I thought, interesting how the power control board, those that presume to run this world, put these phrases in these movies. And just as like little carrots to dangle in front of us, because they know energetically what's happening. So in this movie Lucy, Professor Norman, who is Morgan Freeman, his character, Lucy is actually Scarlett Johansson. She plays that character. He's basically saying to the United Nations conference, he says, we don't know what will happen if the human brain reaches its capacity of 100%. He says, but we certainly would be able to solve the problems of the universe. I laughed at that one. And then he says, but we don't think that humanity could handle 100% capacity of its brain. Well, they do know. They do know what would happen if humanity were to access 100% of its brain capacity. But it's not their brain capacity. It's actually the mind, the consciousness that we're deconstructing through the awareness model. That I'm helping people to deconstruct through the awareness model. It's actually the mind. It's not the brain. Because we use the brain, but it's the mind they're really talking about. So you have to sift through what they tell you to see what the truth is, right? So I thought this movie would be a great opportunity to explore, because it's a real-life example, although fiction, of what they're putting out there from a fictional standpoint, which is really talking about, well, we could, people will see that movie and say, well, it's fictional, it's something that could happen, but it won't happen to us because it's not real, right? But this is a reality that some people will be able to experience. And so I wanted to share that in this space, because the potential, the opportunity for humanity to come to know itself and be a conscious creator through the mind, that is taking back the mind, the thought process and thought, which are not ours, but we use those tools as ways and means to create within this reality construct. So I just wanted to share that.
Right, and the way it's presented is like you were saying, oh, you got to, it's so funny. Well, you got to have these drugs first in your stomach, so you need this super drug, and then only somebody who's then had something like this or out of the ordinary experience can now do these things, reach the superhuman potential, so to say. And I'm like, wait a second here. Like you said, let's turn this upside down and backwards. Because what it's doing in a way, it's discounting the true worth of all of our co-creator abilities. So wait a second, we can do all of that right now. We're doing that. Open your eyes. You're doing it. Really? Yeah. Every so-called fabric of the universe you're looking at right now with your eyes, you're co-creating that.
Oh, exactly.
Well, why would you do this?
Well, the drugs are a subliminal suggestion that you need drugs or you need psychedelics or use psychedelics in order to obtain these higher capabilities within yourself. There are a number of people in the mainstream alternative media who are talking about psychedelics as a way in which they attain their higher knowledge. So I know it's filtering out there, and some people are having these experiences, but they're just experiences. They take you to a certain level, but you can't obtain that level or maintain that level consistently, unless you move into the heart like, we are, right? So, but it's interesting how the power control force, those that are present around this world will plant these suggestions that and put it in fiction. And people, kind of, they like that kind of stuff. But I really thought it was interesting that the drugs were in his stomach, of course, and that was the focal point. And so I went right to the womb, and I talked about that. And Scarlett Johansson is actually pregnant with a baby. So I thought, my goodness, interesting how she's got 3 movies coming out consecutively. One in December, I think, was Under the Skin, and then, or March of last year, maybe?
Yeah.
And then she had, no, I didn't see Under the Skin. I don't watch any movies, actually.
Did you see the one she was in before that, or read about it, called Don John?
No.
This was you'd love it. It's with, and I keep forgetting the guy's name. He was in Third Rock from the Sun. He played the young one, and then he's been in all these other movies. He does Hit Record. Anyways, this guy, and he wrote and directed it. It was awesome. Anyways, check it out. It's called DonJon, Don John. You'll love this one because it's all about sex, internet. He has this beautiful girlfriend, but he's addicted to porn. He likes porn better. He gets even having all these different girls every night when he wants, he still preferred porn. And it goes through this whole dynamic, and then really, I'm like, well, there's your modern synopsis. He nailed it.
Sounds like John Juan Castaneda.
Yes, and Don John, like a John, like always, having to have sex. Both ends of the spectrum, really, really in tune. And so, yeah, check that one out. And it was Scarlett Johansson again. And I was just like, wow, she's really got a lot coming out. And she was, she's, yeah.
Well, she's actually the most beautiful woman in the world,
So as that progression, as you were, reminding me of these ones coming out, I was looking at the ones that just come out that I had just seen. I was just like, wait, those haven't come out, but I just seen her in this, and this, and saw that kind of progression through the sexual energy. Remember? That's the Don John. There was the beginning. What is this? And it was about the sick tuning into beyond that so-called, man, it was check it out. It's beautiful. And the fact that what it uncovers, what it shows in the psyche, and how it came full circle because he meets another woman who's gone through her own trauma, losing her husband and child, and he meets her, and she calls him out like, are you looking at porn on your phone? And he's like, what, lady, what? I mean, it's really awesome. And then they end up coming together and sharing and talking, and then, you see the real love in bloom. And so lovely. And now we come to fast forward to the future. Lucy.
Exactly. But Lucy, energetically is very much in line with what's going on from a celestial mechanic standpoint.
Yeah.
I'm not a proponent of astrology because I understand that it's the program that we're all operating under, and I've done enough astrology readings to know that it is confirmed to me that all of us are under this astrological blueprint, I say, that is infused within each and every one of us upon birth, and that is what animates us and propels us to do what we do on the physical plane. And a lot of people probably would be like saying, "Oh, that's pretty out there, Kerrace." But I've done enough astrology readings and can look at enough people's charts and know where they are in their progression to know that whatever it is that I can see, I can look in their charts and talk to them in their life, through their life experience at this particular point, even for myself, and know that what I'm experiencing from an inner standpoint, in terms of my inner life, it is a reflection of what's happening in my astrological chart. So I do believe that we are in a program reality, that we do operate based on our astrological chart, each and every one of us. However, we can transcend our astrological blueprint and transcend that and still can create a reality of our own choosing with awareness of the fact that we are under this program, that we are influenced by these planets. We are under their influence, but we can transcend all of that.
Yes, we can transcend all of it, and so we can use them as guideposts.
Exactly, and so they're great tools because the power control force, those that presume to run this world, use astrology in order to manipulate human behavior. So we should know our astrological chart. Our astrological chart will tell us what our gifting is, what we're here to do, what our challenges are, and so if we know that information, we have something valuable that we can use or utilize in order to help us to fast track our way to the heart. But see, a lot of people don't even want to go there. So anyway, but it's a fascinating tool. So I use it from that perspective.
Right. I mean,
so
and
when
you
I
said
look
it, the destination, to the heart. Use these tools. What are all these tools here for? Whether it's systems of knowledge, truth, it was all to come into the heart. And so it's just like, hey guys, whatever you're using, and it's to each really unique to their own experiences.
Yeah.
Even if somebody has the same book or same birthday, still unique to their experiences. But where we're all coming into being is the heart, because that, I like to say, the core is everywhere, and this is the resonance of the core. When as some people would say, and this, they'll call it the astrological alignment, like we're lining up with the galactic central sun, and then to the core like this. And I'm like, yeah, that's just, you can see it if you want to see it as a progression. Me, I'm seeing it as a more when you're looking from the center, like the core, you see it as a whole. You're no longer seeing it as you're no longer under that imprint, as you were saying. You see the imprint there. You're like, oh, here it is. This is how, and then you use it as a tool, like you were sharing. Otherwise, you fall back under the influence of it, and then you're thinking, oh man, what's going on? I'm in effect here. The world's this and that, and I'm like, oh, you just slipped back into the program, the old program. That TV station's no longer working. It's shut off. There's a little bit static left, like in the TV. Oh, there's no more shows, and it's just the static. That's all that's left, really, in the pawn that we've been deconstructing. And as that kind of white and black crackly noise, it's about to be fade completely. And that's beautiful.
Yeah, but just know that I know we're on a different timeline, different trajectory. We're not even on a timeline. But you have to know that this system is going to be functioning the way that it is for our lifetime and beyond. So we just have to get used to the fact that we are evolving beyond it, and that's why it's so important for us to create and take back our ability to create, because I'm realistic, and the money system that we're engaged in, it's going to be here for our lifetime. These are things that will change once we're gone. But so in the interim, we still have to operate within this system. And so our advantage is that we have a deeper understanding of how the system operates, what we're up against. And so, when we just play here in the heart, then what are we going to do? What is our strategy? How do we position ourselves to thrive, not only survive, but thrive in this system?
Kerrace, let's flip the script one more time, because we're playing in the heart. We're creating.
Yes.
We're creating,
Yes.
smelling a flower now and enjoying that. Now, sharing your voice. This is sharing your voice, sharing your laughter with another being. This is now with the heart. Now this is big creation, actually, and to recognize that, and then as we flip the script, a little static in the background there, Kerrace, and then we look at that system, that what we call the system, and I'm like, now look at it, the system. Pure, what I'll just say, underlying system, which is not even underlying no more. This is how we truly, what it is. The true system is how we all interrelate with each other. That's it. That's what a system is. How we interrelate. What was overlaid on top of it, what I call the mind control program, this old system of thought. Hey, my brother. Talk. Yep, I love you. And with that overlay, that imprint, even the cosmic one, that you would say, the celestial, the zodiac that is here. And I'm laughing because I'm like, from this perspective, I have another look. And they're like, wow, that's how we all interrelate, even the planets, even whatever it is. It's, again, it's a unique individual experience. The overprint was, the mind control was that when you externalized it, you think, the script flips. This is what I'm saying. The script flips. You think that it's a permanent thing, that the money system, the government, the way, the system, like the way we use things to interrelate is kind of here. And I'm like, no. I'm like, that's the thinking. That's just the thinking. That's all I can put it to now. I'm like, that's just a way of thought. And that thought is left the building. I'm like waving it with, see you guys. And that's left the building. So if people no longer think like that, we come back to the pure way we interrelate. That's what I call the pure system, which is how we truly interrelate in the heart with each other. So as more and more of us relate in the heart with each other, this is the natural system that has always been here. And you watch the way we thought we interrelated, what we thought was, now it became a system of interrelation, how we thought we did this, then this becomes the institutions, money, government, business, religion. It quickly takes on that form, and I'm like, that's it. We don't need those forms to actually live, because actually those forms bring death, actually, or you going into, they're not living, let me just put it that way. And you don't need any of those to live harmoniously, abundantly. Actually, to live harmoniously and abundantly, you don't go into that anymore. You don't go into that system of thought. So now, everything that we do, whether it's with money, fruit, whatever it be, is abundant and flowing, beyond any old system of thought. Why did we have a system? What, so you could deliver something to me? or I could get something to you. Is that, well, that's how we interrelate. That was the system. And I'm like, that's it. So then what is this big monstrous system? Well, they tell you how to think. Well, again, they were giving me something, some information, and then I was interrelating back going, yes, master, or bullshit. I don't have to buy that. Thank you very much. No. And so as it gets so-called, we see it bigger and go the system, or what do some people like to call it? The matrix, whatever. I'm laughing because I know the structure of it, and I know in the heart that it dissolves that way of thinking. You can't, and if you don't think like that anymore, then you don't share like that anymore. You can't share in that old system, which is basically comes to the point where as you've experienced this, when you try to give someone some money for something they've given to you, and they laugh and give it right back, go, no, man, here, I don't want it. No, you keep that. Here, I have this happen to me many moments. And that's how I'm like, that's how we truly live, right? Yes. And whether it now gets confused with this false currency we call money, which was just another way to express ourselves, but when it became a token of exchange, give me, that's the mind control program. And then it became instead of just sharing, it became this old system of exchange, of energy. And then that's where you externalize yourself, and that's where you feel sucked. You know, like vampires, this story comes up because your energy is now projected outside, and you think that now that's the system that you live in. And we know, no, man, that's the false. That's the true false ID. And I'm like, because when you come back into you, it's like, oh, I'm me. And you don't play with that false identity, that false ego anymore. And that false ego is the one that believes and thinks that whole system of government, that whole system of control is real. Real in the sense that, for me, it's already finished. I'm like, man, that ain't real to me, man. I see it still happening, which is it's almost like a flashback in a way. It's almost like, flashback ain't the word, but it's when, and you can do this with an eye thing. I've described it with a candle. Like if you stare at a candle and watch it slowly melt, when you look away and you look back, it's like the whole candle was there, and then you see it melt in an instant. So we've had this imprint of the false light flashed on our retina. And so that we've been projecting back out. And now as we tune into the heart, that false imprint is dissolving. And that's that whole system of thought, that said all how people used to get along, that the way we truly interrelate in the heart, there's none of that bullshit, because there's none of that belief system here any longer. So for me, it's my lifetime, most definitely. It's actually today. That's been beyond my wish. It's been my knowing that this is what we came here to do. And I'm laughing because I'm like, okay. Because we are not in that linear time frame where that plays out. We don't live there anymore. And as we tune into the heart more and more, that just naturally reverberates out for everyone. That's the gift that's given, that keeps on giving. That's the gift that's shared, keeps on flowing. And some drums in the background. No, it's 444 here. So even for me, as I've been deconstructing this notion of time, and on a daily moment-by-moment basis to show, man, that whole, what we think is some permanent structure for our lifetime because we happen to grow up in it, man, it's gonna as in a heartbeat and in a blink of an eye, you will no longer think you and I. You will know wholeness. And
aloha.
Aloha, Colleen.
Mm.
Yeah, so Kerrace, yeah. Maybe you have to move location. You have to take a walk to the park. And,
is that my phone, Mike?
No, Kerrace, there's some construction going on where she's at.
Okay,
yeah,
aloha, Kara.
Kerrace, she has to go into town to get internet connection because she lives in the nature, full on. And she's saying like I was describing, and like you described, Colleen, you got paradise right at your doorstep. And
well, it's here now, everything you were saying, and as we know and we talk about here, and Mike, when you were saying that earlier, I was sitting in front of my computer, and someone had asked me, have a great weekend, what will you be doing? And I was writing back to them, I will be enjoying nature, paradise, and gratitude, just as you said that you're enjoying paradise. So see, we're so in sync already in the heart. I was writing back to this person from my heart. You were talking there from your heart, and there is no time or space. We are here now.
Oh, and this stuff doesn't. This is when you look at it and you realize you don't stick it back into a linear time frame and think, I'm going to buy old and gray. I didn't buy that program. Seriously, I didn't buy that serious program. Right? And I was like, no, but everyone does it. No, everyone doesn't. I got some first-hand experience with some beings. They're like, Mike, do you see this? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah. Hey, man. Yep. Thank you for reminding me that. Yep, we are here, and it's our choice. And with that old limiting belief system, man, you got it right. You stamped on your ass right when you came in here. And however, I'm like, there is a.
Some of us were wiggling our butts so much we didn't get that stamp on our butts, right? We wiggled out of it.
And so we can see the true world that's here. We're like, man, we're not talking next lifetime when you so-called die. We're like, nah, it's here. And the more you laugh, the more you realize that's why. That's what's here coming. And I'm like,
yeah.
It's to then look at the world and every other being, and not just the powers that want to be the system control force that some think wield the so-called power here. Like, no, they act out the script that we in our hearts write, and we're no longer getting distorted by fear, and so watch it clear. Very, very. I can't even put a time. Like, I don't even. It's now. You can't say fast or soon anymore. I'm like, it's already done. And it's the way our mind has been programmed. We haven't seen it yet. And the way that false light still comes in and creates a false projection, a negative image of what truly is, that flips it over, correct, and turns it inside out. I'm like, yeah. And then when you come out of that and you turn it inside out and backwards, and you look again, you're like, yeah, just deep breath comes, you relax. And then you know, this is a knowing, that man, I do not see a world with money much longer. That's all I got to say. I do not see it. And part of it is kind of, I've woken up many days in my life going, okay, let's see if there's people are still using money today. And then sometimes I forget, I'll be like that, and then all of a sudden somebody would use money finally, and I'd be like, oh fuck, we're still using that? Oh shoot, it wasn't today. But sometimes I was totally in that heart space where, yep, I was like, when I saw money, I was surprised. I was surprised again. I was just like, oh my. Oh yeah, okay. Well, let's see another day, Mike. You know it's going to be here where, yep, it's gone. It's really gone. We do. It's, to me, I don't even think like that anymore. I use it while it's here, but my thinking is not tied to that economic thought to think, oh, that's the way it's going to be. I'm like, no, it ain't. Well, it is for the masses. No, it ain't. Why? Because I live here too, and what I'm saying is, well, how to put that clearer? I'm not thinking for anyone, like telling them what to do. I'm sharing what is, what's here, and going, your choice. And you're coming from love or fear. It comes straight to that. It comes straight to that. And it doesn't. You don't get to finally make this decision. Oh well, that choice will come to me when I'm on my deathbed or I'm dying and I so-called meet God or whoever. And love or fear. Okay, all right, go back. No, it's now, in the eternal moment. Now that's what we've come to, and that's why I know I'm laughing, because I'm like, this BS can't go on much longer, which is this old belief system, this fear-based propaganda, mind control program has already run its course, and there's not much more I can say on it. To the fact that we don't live like that here anymore, and that goes for all. Well, it's not like just, oh, Mike, in your slice of paradise. I'm like, no, it isn't just in my slice of paradise, or Colleen's, or Kerrace's, or Barbara's. Our reminder is when there's no separation. Awareness is. So I'm aware of it. You're aware of it. Guess what? Everyone's aware of it. And as this fear is let go of, and the con fades away, what are you left with? You are left with true living. What you came here to do. What you came here to be. And that's true living in the heart. And so when I look at what has a stronger resonance of going into the collective consciousness and creating the world that we know, it's from the heart space. And then you look at the power of this, and you look at the old power control system, and you're like, wow, fade to black. And then you look at how it's still residue in people's minds, and it's the same. Fade to black. It's not a hard cleanup job at this point. Just by, as Kerrace is so beautifully reminded, now in that little more laughter, little more love, the power of it. As you get the creative juice flowing again in the heart space, this river fades out fully. And this is how people truly live. We didn't come to Earth to be zombies, to someone else's program. Even the stars. That when you go outside so-called Earth's atmosphere, you can't see the stars. So all these images that we've been getting from NASA and all, it's a bunch of bullshit. And when you realize that you weren't getting that it was written in the stars, this program, this imprint, and now you can work with it, and because it's inside of you, the universe also. So of course, man, you can rewrite the script. You're a powerful being, all powerful, as each and every unique being is. And as we tune into the heart and the divine will, and this flows into creation, there's no room for any of these vibrations that do not harmonize with this. And this is now. And, you know, I'm not here thinking, Mike, why do I want to see money off this planet, so to say? Because, look, I do care. But I look at it like this. Oh, who do you think controls it? Who do you think that just runs it? I'm like, it's freaking laughable to me. Because, my word, we're so much more powerful than all of that imaginary bullshit. And we're like, oh, this monopoly money's real, it controls the world. And we're like, Watch real soon, man. Because we can't do this true playing in the heart and creating and watching this abundance flow in all ways. And Kerrace, thank you.
So, Michael?
Yeah. You ladies just really bring me into the heart space. You really see this old system of thought clearly. And to me, it's laughable.
So, Michael,
yeah.
when I did, so we're playing, right? We're playing right now, right? We're in the heart, right? We're just in the heart. It's fine. We don't need to go to what the system is about. Let's just take the moment, this moment, and play in the heart. Now, I have looked at your astrology chart, and so I know that you're very passionate about the deconstructing of this money system. And so I understand from your astrological chart that you are wired to revolutionize and to transcend this whole money system. So, in this moment, let us focus on what that would look like. When you talk about being in the heart, in abundance, how would that translate for you? What resonates with you in terms of an ideal system in which we all can cooperatively work together?
Right.
In order. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about. So tell us a little bit about that.
I'll share because as we've been deconstructing. Yeah, Kerrace, if we can, I don't know if it's your speaker or.
I'll put me on mute. Yeah.
But it's just really staticky. You just always just. It's the. You're just assisting me right along here. It's beautiful, and we've described this as we've been deconstructing consciousness these last few moon cycles, and I've described it how we naturally this looks like, and how on a simple level we do have this abundance in the heart, and how does it flow? Because when you're no longer thinking of a system of exchange, and at its essence, you realize you do not need anything from anyone else. You're already whole. You're already complete, and it's from the feeling of unity. Now, if you're not thinking unity and you're still thinking duality, this ain't gonna work, because your mind will not go here. It just doesn't. You're still splitting up something, thinking there's a you and somebody outside of you that's not in tune with the heart. I'm like, no. when everyone's in tune with the heart, this flows naturally, purely. And what it looks like is, as I've shared, you give freely what you have, because that's how it's given to you. Everything you received, it's in a sense a co-creative happening. And the fact that you used earth, or you got something from the sea, or you don't even claim your pure energy. This is what I'm saying. So even sharing your energy with someone in a sense, you don't claim it as yours. It's a gift. It's a blessing. In a way, to be able to do that. So even your smile in this, you don't claim as yours. You claim it because it's yours to share. So what is given to you is for you and for you to share it with others. And now, because you know that's the flow. That's the natural flow. And so anything that you so-called may need, you know, is coming that way to you, freely, in the moment, with no external charge. Which means whatever is now given to another, there's no expectancy of return. Which means there's no, I'll gladly pay a nickel for a hamburger on Tuesday for whatever Wimpy said. And so like that, the means of exchange are completely changing because it's no longer a mean, it's a kind. And this kind, so it's no longer in the meantime, it's in the kind now. In the kind now, where we all truly, this is the basis of reality, is love and kindness. This is what you come from. And why we laugh is we know that the thinking was that people kept acting out of not love and kindness, and that would continue. And then thinking like that, you think that this money system is then here always. And then this way we've been living or not living is going to kind of be here always. And like, no, that program's run its course. It's finished. That game is over. And so when you...
I like what you shared. That was really neat because that resonates with what I feel as well. So that's actually, and I'm sure will resonate with a lot of other people who are in the heart or know themselves as awareness, or whatever that is for them. So that's a reality construct that is forming within this system of consciousness that was existing within. So just from my standpoint, I take that which you just explained, right? Mm-hmm. I am that in my life. So I take that and I am that in my life within the system that I'm currently in.
Right.
So as I take that, because that's about me being in alignment. That's about us being. It's about us being in alignment with the truth of who we are and being authentically creating and being with one another, that it's in a much more harmonious way of being, as we play here in the heart. I mean, that's just it's so pure, it's so effervescent, it's so freeing to actually be even sharing the potential that could happen for this planet if we move, or when we all move into alignment and start being with one another in this way. It will transform. That's where the transformation will happen. But because we are pioneering something, this is very much on the fringe, and we are pioneering this way of being with one another, we have to be this in the world now, right? And then we pierce the veil of the illusion of this system that we're in, so that people can start seeing and being. We be the role models of that way of being.
Right. And so, and I'll share with you this, what you just described. A little dark here. So this, now when this true living, this being, now in the moment, and the more we do this, the more we get to do this, what comes into this And this is where we say, comes silence. Silence in that we come into the core of the heart. Silence. And then in this creation, you realize when to truly share this next moment with all is with not a word. It's with living your true divine action, being that true divine essence, living that truth without saying a word. And you are empowering everyone around you. And since everyone is around me, and you, and me, that knowledge is shared with all without a word spoken. And, well, again, there's not words to describe what's next, what comes into being.
Mm-hmm.
So this has been the old system of control, is that when people would come into this unity consciousness, this truth of being, is that they make a prophet. Only this prophet or this enlightened one or ascended master knows this stuff. Listen to him. Look, he lived it. And I'm like, they get you thinking that there's something you have to do or say. And it's, even inside this story that we're playing in, they give you that. There's still that thread of truth, we can say, running through all. And it brings us to the heart. And in the heart, we know. We know. That means each and every one of us, there's no denying this. There's no playing ignorant here. All right? There's no playing ignorant and then just going, I didn't know, so then I got fearful. Not anymore, Mom. Right? Exactly. So, you're choosing now fear. This is the empowering. This is the empowering moment. Yeah, you don't.
Yeah. How do we open this up?
Right. This is. That's the funny thing. It was like, truly lived.
Pauline, you're on
you truly lived, and we don't now explain it to another, because each has their unique experience coming into that fullness of being. So if I said to them that next word, what they have to do, I'm now like taking away their chance to discover it themselves, and that's what they have to do. That's that final heart. So here you are.
I missed that.
Got a Kerrace, this. So
okay.
Colleen.
I missed your last part of there, Mike.
Yeah. Ooh, you feel it,
what
Colleen.
I was going to add to that is, in my experience and my knowing, being in the silent, and of course being in nature, and I'm sure Kerrace has this understanding also. When you are in nature, the more you're in nature, the more you realize the less you need out of nature. So this whole thing with money is a trap, because it's been where you think you need all this external things to consume. And so then you're in this whole hamster wheel of having to make more money or keep the money so you can pay for all these things. So that's one of the bases, I think, I feel, is to get in touch with nature again, to really get that this is who you truly are, this beauty, the naturalness of you, and the magnificence of who we are. And nature is a way to reflect that back to us, that we don't need all this stuff. And so then you disconnect from that need of having money. So then we go to the natural, and when you're in nature, as we know, we're so connected in the heart. And so you want to give. You naturally want to share. You want to give. So we are at that where I know in my life we do trades. We go off and we do like these little retreats together, and it's like you don't bring hardly anything. And what you do bring, each person then shares with the other. And it's just so beautiful because then you just have this experience. I really don't need anything. I need the air to breathe. The sun feels wonderful, right? And some water. And, if you're still feeling like you need to eat food, just really light, beautiful food that has the energy in it of life, the life force.
This is what we get to do. What some people would term a simpler way of living, but it's a true way of being. And all the extraneous BS falls away, goes away. And as I've watched the transformation in me over the last few months, again, I was just like, don't discount another being in terms of how far you might think they are away from truly living in the heart. Like I say, we're all like one heartbeat away from, actually, we're already living in the heart. We're at one heartbeat away, I feel now, to living in paradise with all. Because it's how we truly now have come to an understanding of being love or not. And that's what's here. And so we're like, quite naturally, anything that doesn't resonate with that goes away, dissolves. It's not a permanent structure. It was, it's not a permanent form. And you're going to watch all those, what you thought was these big companies ruling the world, be gone. Because who runs those big companies? Some fools behind a desk, right? And they no longer can operate like that. What happens to the company? There isn't any. So this is not like you had to take out some big entity, max, what is this corporate body? I'm like, man, it's just some fools running that. And when they no longer can do it, all the things below them crumble. And that's what's happened. The system of thought at the top has already been, as I share, finished. It's done. Like program's finished. There's no longer any energy connected to it. That's why I'm like, you can't even, like, Mike, I gotta recharge my batteries, man. But where's the socket to plug it in? And you're trying to plug it into this old socket. I'm like, it doesn't run anymore. That program doesn't run here anymore. But Mike, it's happening. Look, I'm like, yeah. We're still working through the last, what I would call false images being projected out into our consciousness, into consciousness. And I'm like, yep, it's just, no need to fight it, no need to kick it, just Mama's rocking it to sleep, like Sleeping Beauty. And she's just singing a lullaby. And for those who need this lullaby, you'll hear it from Mom, and you're just going to go to sleep. Because you can't plug into that old energy source, right? So you have no more charge, so you need to go to sleep and, tune back in with the heart. But you can no longer go running around here projecting that bullshit on the rest of us. Plain and simple. Like, what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm gonna have to go soon, but there's a couple of things that have come up, and I think it's beautiful. First, Connie, thank you so much for sharing. I really love your energy. And your simplicity of sharing is beautiful. And I totally identify with the whole nature thing because I live up here.
Yeah.
And I live a very simple cabin, but I have like 12.5
I wish I could hear you clear, Kerrace.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Yeah,
You can't
I
hear
don't know,
me?
the speaker is making it really difficult to hear.
Is it really? Has it been that way the whole time?
No, but just some moments. If you move it, I think
That was
away,
a little better right there, right when you said that.
Okay. Is this okay?
Pretty static, yeah.
Too static.
Yeah, it's pretty static.
Yeah. There. Where are you? Don't move.
Yeah, right
Okay.
there's good.
So I was just wanted to say, share a couple of things, but I do have to leave. And one is that living in nature has been one of the most beautiful experiences for me. And I live a very simple life. And one of the things that I found was I had to let go of all of the ways in which I was living in my world in Vancouver, Canada, in the city. And because I was living in a place of fear. And when I let all that stuff go, all the materialism go, and just went to a much simpler life, now I've been able to build a foundation of myself where I don't live in a place of fear. And if I want materialism, I can get materialism if I choose that. But I'm not choosing that because I'm very full inside. I'm full within my being, you know. So it's a very different way of living. But one of the things that I've come to realize is that, as awareness, is that I am to live in opulence. Okay, so here's the dichotomy. Okay, so it's like, and I do. I feel like I live in opulence because I live in nature. And but there's this real strong urge for me to have the experiences of all the richness that is enveloped within this beautiful system that I have. And that's something that I embody as awareness. So
right there, it's clear.
Something that's come up for me that I'm sort of engaging this juncture in my life, as simple as my life is. So I think it's this life experience is so wondrous. It's forever changing for me, moment to moment. And the other thing I wanted to mention to you, Michael, was I want to come back and share with you again. One of the things that kept coming up in our discussion today that's very pronounced is for us to really stay focused on what it is that we want to achieve in the moment, and not to look at this system and what it's done to us and what it's doing. You know what I mean? Because I'm really getting that if we can continue to hold the space and the vibration, the frequency, and hold that space for others also to come in and build this to a point where we don't even talk about the control system anymore. It's not even
exactly.
You know what I mean? It's not
we do not
feed
the beast. Do not feed the beast anymore.
We're letting it go. Yeah. That's
we give it a little
build
pat and a little hug and say, okay, you can go on your way now. We learned from you. We learned from you, and you can go now.
Yeah.
And
I'm not. It's not about being in denial about what's going on in the physical world, because I have done a lot of work where I have had to face a lot of the system, but it's an alchemical process in which I have gone through in terms of dissolving any attachment to this system and what's happening. So I do understand that there is a need for some people to have that type of discussion. But I know that from a standpoint of wanting someone like myself, and I'm sure others like you guys, want to build something new out of what we are experiencing, it's very important for us to stay focused on the area of play within the planet and build.
Right, so where we're going to play and create, even on a simple, I'm realizing that's really what's tuning us in more and more with the heart. in that playing, you're creating. And even playing with kids or playing games like you did as a kid is creating again. You're creating fun, right? So look at it that way. You're having fun, you're creating fun now. That's awesome. And then you can create in terms of, as long as you're sharing that. It's about the sharing. In your creation now, you're creating to be creative, and this creation is to be shared. It isn't like now you do this and then you're just like, oh, I'm happy, and you just, you're an artist sitting in your bedroom and you're not now sharing that gift. But now as we share this gift, there's it's no longer going into that old system of thought where you're sharing this gift thinking, okay, what am I going to get in return? You're going to get whatever. It's not about that. You're already getting everything. You already got everything anyways. But it's in that, assisting that flow. And that's what we want to do, that pure flow. And in assisting that pure flow, we're like, yeah, share your creations, whatever they may be. Whatever they may be.
And when you're coming from that heart, the flowing of the heart and the love, there is no lack. So you naturally want to keep giving and giving because you know it is limitless.
Not so yeah, Kerrace, thank you so much, everyone. Kerrace Alexandria, Big Fish Strategies, YouTube.
Yes, aloha.
Aloha. Thank you so much for having me. We'll talk soon again.
Oh, for sure.
Much love.
Okay, Kerrace.
Yes, much love to you. Bye-bye.
Aloha.
Bye. All right. Let's get Barbara in here.
All right.
Hey, Barbara.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Oh, that was so wonderful. My aloha.
Aloha.
Everything you said is so wonderful. Aloha. It was all so beautiful.
We've had this kind of limit that we thought, well, what about money then? Yeah, I can see everyone sharing everything, and I'm like, and I've seen people share money. And when you really recognize the true monopoly nature of it all, in terms of the abundant flow of it, that I'm laughing because you see the exponential factor in it. And it's beyond now the sense of number. It's that flowing, that pure energy of the heart. And man, it could be so-called as little as you giving $10 to someone. That
like
smile,
me.
that
like
smile,
me
right,
for bingo.
Everybody's day. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me, like for me, that's just what I'm in need of for Monday. I'm all right for Saturday, but I have not. Albee's number been coming out for everybody. They've been bingoing on that $500. This one lady won $10,000 because she got her bingo in 17 numbers, and they paid her $10,000 cash money. That lady rejoiced, and we rejoiced with her too. But it's not no serious thing. I'm not really concerned about that cash flow because I've created one for all of us, our family. I'm a writer, so I've been writing. Like I've taken notes of all this conversation that you've had on this show today. But how is that lady's name pronounced? Kerrace or Kerrace?
Kerrace.
The lady.
Well, Kerrace.
Kerrace, like Kerrace.
Yeah, Kerrace.
Oh, Kerrace. Oh, like you Kerrace a lot. I got curious for you. I curious for you.
Correct.
Well, but what happened this morning, Alveda had called me and had messaged me a number, and I'm thinking that's the number to the show. But come to find out, it was a number to her that normally I was not able to call. She would always have to call me on Skype, but I got an opportunity to get her on her phone today, and in the process of her telling me that that's not your number, Mike, I called the number you gave me, that 800 number, and I'm leaving a message, and next thing I know, you done called me and gave me this number. I said, this is Paradise Island right here. Now, while I'm sitting here trying to get all these numbers together, in the meantime, I'm on YouTube trying to look at this opium factory that the United States have in Afghanistan. So I'm on YouTube and push this on. Next thing I know, here's this long, beautiful, legged white woman come on telling me Saturn is the area of power starting from November 2013, and it goes all the way until November 2015 because Saturn got so many more days, years before it's going to go. And once it leaves, oh, that girl was going on and on. I never did get to the opium story that I was trying to get to because this was advertisement. You know, YouTube will cut off on you in a minute if you don't have a really good, powerful connection. So it not connection actually cut off. It freezes on me. So it froze on me. And the only thing, I didn't have the lady's name. I didn't have anything about her. But everything that she was talking about was the power of Saturn, to let Saturn be your guardian angel because Saturn is the power, is the planet that will make you grow and prosper and let all your growth start from within. And whatever you build within yourself, you'll let it to flow outside. I don't know who this chick was giving out all this information because it was all under the name of advertisement. And so it was very good. So it was very good information. She just complimented, you know, everybody has always been afraid of Saturn, she says. She said, but never look at Saturn as that. Saturn is the planet that motivates us to get the things done that we want to do. There's other planets that have us plotting and planning to do things. But Saturn is that building planet. It's the one that activates you. And she was really talking about Scorpio at the time. Apparently at the time that she gave this analogy was when she was, she kept on talking about a crescent moon or eclipse. It was an eclipse.
So with
it
this
was an
power
eclipse at the time.
Right? She's reminding you of the power, because remember, Saturn now represents part inside of you. Now you got to take these so-called planets outside influence and see how, as you get this organ aligned and tuned and clean it out, again, this now serves you. This is now becomes your power, not running an old program through it. Now you have the energy of this pure, and now you put your creation into being. It's all about reminding you to put your creation into being with the universe instead of someone else's. Otherwise, you just get the default program. And then you complain and blame and complain and blame. And I'm like, yeah, go to sleep already. And and with
you
this,
know her. You know her, Mike. You know that woman. That's exactly what she was saying.
I got something to say to you about her. I had a conversation with a lovely brother yesterday. Can you imagine who?
Oh, no.
Who you been studying?
Santo Bonacci.
Yes.
Oh.
Beautiful.
Wonderful.
Our brother, thank you. My mother asked, you asked about him in loving kindness. My mother asked about him in loving kindness. And so we had a beautiful conversation.
That's what I told Cora. Cora was telling me about her mother down there in Atlanta by herself. I said, well, tell her on the Santo Bonacci. He'll entertain her all day long. And, you know, her mother is inquisitive about different things, so it would be very interesting. I said, introduce her to Santos down in Australia. She'll never get lonely or bored with that type of friendship in her household. I sure did suggest him. That's wonderful, Mike. You are on too.
Brother's doing wonderful. And, you know, next, we're moving forward, you know. Moment by moment. Not resting.
Well, you told me you saw that Savon Bomer lecture over the weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, that is last Astro Quest. So I guess it was Yeah, his last show on AstroQuest. You go AstroQuest TV, or you can go a few different sites to connect to it. Or you can go YouTube. It's probably on YouTube, but yeah, YouTube AstroQuest. Heck, you get the latest one. Just look at the date. And anywho,
AstroQuest.
Man, just rocking. Just, man, right in tune. Just clearing the foundations, sinking in the base, tuning in the heart, knowing our true creative abilities, and not accepting any more of that old BS and thought program. And this is where we are, here, in the core, in the heart. This is, whew. Yeah, so thank you. So the number to call in is 347-850-1929 if you like, if you feel. You're always connected in the heart. Gaia Sophia dreaming. The beautiful wisdom goddesses that, yeah. Thank you.
Well, Mike, let me share this with you that the lady told us. She said for us, whatever we want, since we're healing ourselves and coming from the inside of ourselves, from our heart, she said, make your wish list now and burn it. And then just wait for it to materialize. She said, make it and burn it and just wait for it, because Saturn will bring whatever you put on that list into a reality. I still don't know who she was, but she was on fire.
There's so many now. Like, I mean, I'm tuning into left, right, and center, right? Like Kerrace. Beautiful. Shanman, is like, hey, Mike, this friend of mine, Kerrace, that I've been, tuning in with, she sounded, right? She's talking, resonating in the heart. And then we have a conversation. We're like, wow, yes, full on. And, and then I'm listening to these other, we got Lisa Transcendence Brown over here in Kauai. Check her out, Lisa Transcendence Brown. You want to hear someone sharing with you really, if it's beyond even what we'd say head in the stars anymore, and people would say, I mean, it's bringing this to the real earth. What we're talking about here. This is, and you can go for another one. They're really Sandra Walters. Man, she's. Read her if you want some clarity. Read what she's been sharing quite recently. And go to Mystic Mama. One of the latest articles. What's Sarah Varkas? Yes. What is in here now for us? It's not just.
Or read Barbara. To get some real clarity, get some real clarity.
Yep, thank you, Courtney. Well, I'm just saying, this isn't even is beyond confirmation or validation anymore, isn't it, Colin? This is knowing. We're like, you're fun. I'm not convincing anyone. I'm like, look, man, I'm tuning in with these others who are expressing this, and then as Kerrace said, there's many beings who you do not hear, not so-called sharing this through the internet. But you're feeling it in your heart. You're feeling it in your heart, and that's why I'm catching it. I'm connecting with that resonance, and I know it's more than just the beings that I just shared with you. And that's what's empowering, that there's so many of us tuning clearly into the pureness of the, this into the core, and I just call it in with the heart, where we're like, And then what's flowing from here, we're knowing it. We're just a few more clearings, I feel. And that clearing is using this divine, let's call it source energy, not to, in its pure, in a way, in its pure way. And that's sharing in the heart. Sharing this in the heart. Not coming at it from a, well, I don't even want to, the old whatever way we did it. It's like we don't even have to describe it. We're just coming, let's describe what it is we do naturally and what is next, as we've been sharing. Because it's, as Colleen and Kerrace remind us, we don't have to describe the old. It's no need to feed the beast in your mind that it's even it's that dualistic way of thinking. I've watched my own self. Wow, I don't even think like that anymore. It's wonderful because you're in tune with the heart of your resonance of your heart, and it's unity. So it's wholeness. It's wonderful. It's marvelous.
That is one reason why I am so glad to meet you, Colleen, because for years the only naturalist that I ever really knew of was that guy named Yule Gibbons. And he used to, come on. And they tell me that man died. That just blew my mind. When he had been out there eating the berries and the
I remember him, yeah. Yeah,
and
the
so
turtle talker here.
You remember him too?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Remember him, Mike? Yule Gibbons?
I'm not sure. Was that the guy from
He's the nature guy. He used to eat all the berries and he ate nothing but nature.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah,
he's from the States here, from the States, right, Barbara?
Oh, I don't know. I just saw him on commercials.
Oh, mhm. I always think of Steve Irvin, who died from the was it the manta ray stinger, or it just hit him in the chest?
Stingray or something.
Yeah. Mhm.
He was so jolly. Oh, that was a live wire. He just had energy to burn.
Talk about connected in, huh?
Strong
connected
man.
to nature.
Yep.
So when we come from this space, when we come from the heart and you have that moment to sit in nature, and for me, in my imagination, and how it's really important of how you see the world. Are you now describing an old way of living, or are you now empowering the new one that's here? And so it's like, are you feeding the fear, or are you showing the clear? And in that, this is awareness. Awareness sees the bigger picture in the sense that it's no longer, it's not looking things in a dualistic fashion. Awareness is, when you tune into with awareness, you're not seeing that thought program. You're not seeing it black and white, left and right any longer. You're not polarized. So as you tune in with the heart in awareness, you no longer look at the world polarized. You know wholeness.
Well, my thinking with the heart, I imagine Colleen, me, Alveda, and Kerrace coming to Hawaii. Each one of us grabbing an arm or a leg and swinging you and throwing you into the pool. Can you imagine? That's where my imagine. I could just see you hollering now. Let me go, ladies. Let me go, ladies. And we will let you go right into the pool.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Yeah. So, where you guys want to go with it? I'm just kicking back, relaxing here now. The light is really come. When we start the transmission here, and this is why we'll see that it's just beautiful, and it's such a difference. I was in the complete, what you would call the pole here, the darkness. And so for the first good hour, so-called hour here, it's different. I'm like watching myself in relation to the light now changing out, so-called outside of me. And sometimes you can hear I'm not as talkative.
Yeah. Because it's like you're like in the darkness of the womb, right? Embraced in the that dark mama energy.
Yeah, and she's expressing clear. I really tune in with that flow. I'm really happy to share that sacred space with all, because we used to, many of us, we'd be up at 3 and we'd come together 3, 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. I don't even call it a.m. We'd come together before the light came, and we used to sit next to a fire, and we would, communicate in the heart and connect. And this is what we're doing again. And I'm just so happy to share that. And and now as the light comes and the sun comes, it's almost more of this contemplative gesture coming into being, and it's just more okay. And now just enjoy the moment of the day coming into being, and it's a wonderful feeling. And as you can see, as it's not a thinking, I got to do this anymore. I have to do this. It's a moving into the feeling of the flow, the way, and then you realize you get to do this. This is what you get to do, and it's not somebody's allowing you to do this. It's you get to do this is in terms of a gift with yourself, with all. It's this in-tuned flow of life, of living with nature, and we get to do these wonderful things. It's before we doubted that, hey, you can't fly. I'm like, we get to fly. Get out of here. What do you mean we can't? We get to. What do you mean we get to? Like we were saying, this was here all along. This is for all these wonderful magical things that you doubted that you can't do. I'm like, not only that we can do these. Mom's saying, yeah, you get to do this. It's, Mom, can we go play over here? She's like, yeah. Remember as a kid, you must stay in the yard. Don't go across the street. Michael, don't start flying around yet. She's like, Mom, can I start flying around now? She's like, yes, Michael. I'm like, it's wonderful.
Well, I'm playing as a hostess. I've seen if Kirk Franklin, he got him a TV show as a host, so we're gonna have us a radio show, and I'm gonna be the hostess of this game. We're gonna call Name That Tune. So here's the first clue: tweet a tweet a tweet, tweet a leader dee tweet, tweet, tweet a leader dee. What's the name?
Janet.
Rockin' Robin.
Yep.
Beautiful heart sharing. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
One more. Do wah, do wah, do wah, do wah.
Why do fools fall in love?
Good one. Good chance.
Yeah. Yeah. Music lovers can get all this stuff.
Lola, hoochie mama.
Barbara, so we have the new platforms here for us, Gaia Sophia Dreaming, and as I shared, we're gonna have there's gonna be small videos of you sharing, and we can have your writing also, and you and reading it. Colleen, we'd love to, as you're describing the orbs, and we put the photos up there, and so there'll be maybe a 5-10 minute video of you describing the orbs and the photos and the video as we like, and Mark sharing. And this is what we're doing, and this is the platform now for all of us to truly even express and share our creativity. Gaia Sophia Dreaming, she set it up for us, and I'm like, thank you, Mom. What are we doing with this, Mike? Let the people share their heart, and you already have it. And so as you guys, as we've been sharing this in the heart, she's sharing me this vision of how that is going to be shared even more. That even as we come together each moment to create more and more, that the beautiful sharing that we have been doing here with Gaia Sophia Dreaming these last, this last from equinox to solstice and straight on through, in this balance in the heart, in this lokahi, in this unity. There's so much just beautiful sharing that we've had, and now we're going to go back and go forward and edit these transmissions, and we're going to put them on YouTube, and because there's people who are really going to resonate with this. And so, there'll be 5-minute or so-called 20-minute, however we're going to do that, and however it's, the natural flow of the sharing is. And I'm just happy and excited because I get to, it's just, again, being creative and sharing and knowing that there's each moment I connect, we tune in with each other where we are connected in the heart. This beautiful conversation that we're sharing, that keeps flowing and flowing and flowing. It's just so wonderful. Yeah,
yes, and like we said yesterday, that each time one of us shares an experience or something that's happening with us, then that opens the door for another person that may be sitting there and I don't know if I should share this or not, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Colleen.
Yeah.
That's what we've talked about. Talk about share your magical, mystical moments, because others will then remember or been wanting to do that too, but they haven't. Is it okay to share this now? It's like, yes, here, please.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so,
because we all have them,
yes,
right? And it's
true.
And people sit back and say, they think of me, it's too weird, or this is the time now. Let it all out. Let it out.
So already, Barbara, this is kind of my so maybe you'll see very soon, I'm hoping this so-called week, in the next so many days, there's going to be a video on YouTube, and the title's going to be Barbara. And it's going to say, singing a tune or whatever the heart you were sharing in that moment. We'll give it a title. And so,
aloha.
Like
Aloha.
this.
Aloha.
I've been listening in for a little while. I'm in the store. I'm busy, but I'm listening in as much as I could, and I'm loving it, the show, and love everybody. I just wanted to say that. All right.
Love you.
Thank you, sweetie pie.
Glad you dropped by.
I know. Barbara called me this morning, thought she was calling the show. I said, no, I'm still in the bed. I see, Janet, you made it. Yeah. Okay, well, I'll be talking to everybody, okay?
Hello.
All right, going to celebrate my mom's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Mama.
Yeah. Okay, love everybody.
Much love.
All right, love you, Mike.
Love you.
All right, I had to drop some that love on everybody.
That is so good.
It. Yep.
Always welcome. Can't get too much of that.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
There you go. It sure is. A nice breeze out here. The trees blowing. It's beautiful. I'm just waiting for Colleen's birds to show up.
They showed up here as soon as you talked. 5 crows went by. I was like, yep, there they are.
It's quiet here. They must have made it to your place, Jan. They're quiet here now.
They did.
What's that saying about it, as the crow flies?
Yeah.
Man, they're fast.
I'm gone.
Okay. Aloha.
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 All right.
Yeah. How beautiful.
Yeah.
So, it's just joy, eh? Thank you, Alvita.
Anybody else on the call that hasn't said anything yet that wants to join us? We'd love to hear you.
We got Clarity here. Let's get Clarity's mic open.
Clarity. Okay.
Good end here. Aloha, Clarity.
Aloha, Clarity.
Aloha, Clarity.
Hey, guys.
Is
Yeah.
that her?
There she goes. Hey, doggy. Yeah.
He was quiet the whole time until I unmuted.
All right.
Oh, you're broken up. I didn't hear that.
Yeah. She's cool. If she wants to open up a mic, she'll put one.
Yeah.
We feel it. Just wanted to give a thank you. Thank you, Clarity. Thank you for being here.
Aloha.
Aloha. And you, me, Barbara, and Janet here, and it's just right now in Clarity, it's just the love flowing. I'm so happy, and now I realize how we get to share more of it. So now we can take these lovely sharings that we all, bring here in the Emerald Heart, and now we can share those with others who are going to resonate with that. And so someone wants to hear Barbara, who really is going to connect with Barbara. There's so many people who want to hear Colleen, and it's just like we're going to make that so. If and so instead of like, oh, what radio show or whatever, no, it's this free flow, this open source where the sharing your expression and your creativity. So it's not one like a share. It's not Gaia Sophia Dreaming, whatever my name is. It's Gaia Sophia Dreaming, and you do not hear me. I say, yeah, Mike's here. This isn't my creation, so to say. It is my creation because I am part of it, but it's all of ours to share in, and that's how I share. It's just like, okay.
Yeah. It's with that heart, the flowing, right? It just keeps flowing and flowing. Mm-hmm.
So,
and we're going to have to continue that children's program, Michael, because I don't know, the children may not have said anything, but there were children on the line because my great-grandchildren told me they called in. So for people to say whether they said anything, I don't know because I was at bingo, but I do know that they told me that they had called in. So they are looking forward to doing that again.
I heard them, and like you said, we talked earlier, like, Mike, they're going to call in. I don't know what they're going to speak. They probably won't, but they're listening in. So,
the thing is, we need to do it, and we're going to give them assignments. We're going to do it in their way. Like, it's very few children that do not like the wrestlers. Very few children that do not like WW wrestlers. That's always a conversation piece for all children all over the world, because everybody likes those guys and girls.
Well, how we're doing it, Barbara, and it's quite simple. To get a kid on the phone, to speak on the radio, to someone he doesn't see. It's not his reality. He can look at it and go, yeah, okay. It's more of, it's going to be like he's having a conversation, your grandkids are having a conversation with you, and you record it, and then we give it, and they know that, hey, we're going to make a YouTube video. You're going to talk with Grandma about love and your heart and whatever it may be, and you record that. And we put that out there on YouTube. That's how we share it, because it ain't through the radio station that we're connecting. It ain't through Blog Talk that we're connecting.
But it can be done through the radio station because so many people will be able to.
No, Barbara. Here it is. You ask any of the youngins. They are not going to a radio station and tuning in. They go to Google and they go to YouTube, and they already got their music. They go there. They even check out their music.
They may not go, but they can go. See, this is the thing. Right. We're trying to teach them anew. We don't want them to do all the things what they've been doing is not working for them, apparently, because they are not happy children. So we have to come up with some new techniques and how to present some old ideas.
Exactly. So now they can be as creative as they like and share it. This is what so many people are already doing. This is so, in so many ways, I'm like, man, do
in
you
their
guys
own
realize,
environment.
yeah, do you
right?
realize how behind the times some people are thinking? Man, these kids are light years beyond thinking in terms of needing to even share any of this, like through this old media. And it's 555 here in the Hawaii Dreamtime. Aloha. So what we're getting at is in the heart. This is old technology. Listen to Savan. And he's sharing also. Open source is here. And what open source means is in terms of technology and different ways of sharing the knowledge. You're going to see it start expanding exponentially in terms of the flow, in terms of the sharing, because we're no longer restricted by these old means of communication. These are old means of communication, Barbara. And the kids are bored as shit with them, man, because that's why they only go to Google and YouTube, because, man, what? They're ready for the next, man. They
don't have an opportunity to go to a telephone and talk to children across the world. They've never had an opportunity to do that until this idea of Kate of Gaia came up with this telephone communication.
No way.
It's a good idea. It's a very good idea for mass communication among the young. And that's the way to get them back into pen paling. See, this that social media thing.
It's already happening. This is the thing, Barbara.
It's otherwise it's nothing personal anymore. Everything is open and out.
You're thinking of something that you're wanting to happen when it's already been happening. People have been doing it. You want to go check out this one young girl who does interviews for I don't know how long. Go Truth Frequency Network. Her name's Crystal. I forget her last name. Anyways, Crystal Kids Talk. There already is one. She's full power. She interviews all these guys. I bet you Santos even knows her. He maybe even been on her show. I know a lot of George has been on her show. And she's already doing it, and she started this years ago when she was single-digit so-called age. It's already happening, and it's out there. These kids are already connecting already, and they're already doing it way beyond you were thinking, Barbara, already, and they're already ready to embrace the so-called next level of technology. I'm trying to share with you, this is old tech. This phone, like Pen Pal, and even this phone, they're already connected in the heart.
But that's where the joy is. That's where the joy is, Mike. That's where the joy is. Even though they're doing the new modern things, that's a new technology. But is it any joy? Is it joy? Is it laughter?
You know
is it fun? Is it anything of goodness that they really do, or is it a job, or is it just something to do, or is it what I have to do, or I got to do?
Hear what it is.
Difference.
It's sharing, Barbara. Just what we were talking about.
Sharing how? I mean, to share. You can share pain just like you can share happiness. Sharing is, you have to explain that sharing can be shared, like I say, pain.
What are you
can share pain. You can share joy.
What knowledge, here's the question. What knowledge do you think you have to teach the kids? Because I'll tell you straight up, nothing.
I don't think I have to teach them anything. I don't believe in people teaching. You can't teach a person anything. You can instruct them, and they have to teach themselves. We can only give instructions to things. We can't be taught. You teach yourself. You instruct, you be instructed.
What you're saying is, how would you like kids to connect more and share? And what I'm saying, it isn't through that old system of thought, which was not true living in the heart. So when you have, like I have, who does have the opportunity to be with kids, who did have that opportunity to play with kids, just didn't sit behind somewhere and talk about it, who actually lived it. I haven't even shown you the photos when we put school out forever. I haven't even talked about that one, man, and put up those photos. You'd be laughing your ass off. Then, Mike, you did what, where, when? Yeah. We're so beyond that old system of thought. So beyond it, and so are the children here. And as soon as this false charade that people keep pumping out falls away, you're going to be laughing with the children, always in the heart, because this is where we are. Don't think that Anyways, Barbara, thank you, though. You're putting limits. Don't put limits. That's what I'm feeling. You're putting limits, and that's what many people do. Thank you all for tuning in, guys. If I am dreaming here, we're going to go to the rollover. Aloha. And because Barbara,
Aloha.
Maybe Colleen can share with you what I'm trying to get at, is because to put the words to it is even hard, because I was describing earlier, Colleen? It's hard to even describe this old way of thinking. It's an old way of thinking and projecting on kids that they need to get their voice out there and be heard. They are heard. I'm having that conversation.
They need something to do. They are so bored. They are so bored with nothing to do. If they had an objective, if I had a friend, if I was bored and I live in the United States and I got a friend in Australia, if I've learned the technique of pen palette, I could sit down and spend an afternoon writing a letter to my friend in Australia without having to. I can learn how to spell. I can improve my vocabulary. I can improve my speech and how I come across and translating my communication, all by me taking time to doing a one-on-one letter to a friend. And in the meantime, when my friend get it, regardless to what type of situation they living in or what happened to them that day, when they receive a letter in the mail for them with their name on it, it's for me. Oh, how exciting could I imagine a child would be to have somebody to have taken time to think about me.
That happens because there is some places where so-called modern technology doesn't exist, and there are doing that. There has been schoolrooms that do write letters to this day, and they do that. They write letters, not just emails. They still write letters and send them to kids other places in the world because they know they ain't got a computer. We still need to write them a hand letter. And they do what you said that. I've been in classrooms where they did do that. They write letters to kids in different parts of the world and get letters back. And then they even now, with the way the technology went...
Did those children enjoy doing that when you were in there? Did the children enjoy doing that?
Now they open up live feed. And now they see each other from so-called across the world. And they look at each other. They're like, yeah, we know each other. And then watch the magic happen, because all of a sudden they understand this feeling in the heart, this deep communication that they know.
So if I'm a child that don't have finances to pay a Comcast, a cable bill, I can't communicate with those children that's on Skype because I don't have the finances to be on there with them? I can't get to enjoy those joys?
You didn't listen to the next step, Barbara. You're still talking low tech. This so-called technology that I just said, Skype, speaking like this. Did you hear what I said next? It was about being in the heart, where they realize they're communicating always. That's what's opening up. So then they see each other. But what's happening without even any of this so-called technology to connect each other, we always are connected in the heart. And these kids, as we do this and we remember that's what we're truly communicating in now, all those around us and the kids, they've been communicating in the heart. And so as soon as you connect like this is the next tech. I'm telling you, Savant calls it spirit tech. And I'm like, I've been describing it for months. Colleen's probably heard me talk about it. As simple as picking up a stick. Because this is what we're coming into the true being, that these kids ain't going to be bored anymore, because we finally cleared this system to get the old system of thought, and now they can really, truly express their magical, mystical beings that they are and really start playing again. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. This is what I'm going to do. And I know so...
I think if the kids are bored, I know with my experience with my daughter, take them in nature. Get them out in nature. Get them away from, the technology, and that's where you connect.
Exactly.
That's where you connect on the inner level and the heart, and then that's when your abilities, your natural abilities, are able to come to the surface for you, for the kids. And I understand what Barbara's saying about communicating. I would go to nature myself and that's what I would do with my daughter. Sometimes she would be, into technology, and I could feel the energy, and I'd say, let's go up to a place I used to take her, and she, no, I don't want to, and I'd go up there, and then she wouldn't want to leave nature. No, I don't want to leave yet, because then they're connected in. They're slow. Everything's slowed down.
We don't need the kids on the radio. We need them in nature, Barbara.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're saying we're going. So why would I say, you guys got to have a radio show? To do what? Talk about how bored you are where you are instead of going out in the nature and living? And that's what
we're only talking about a 1 day a week type of thing. It's like a recap or sharing. All right, he's just there in nature for the other 6 days. They got a day that they can transfer the information to other children. Well, what you do in nature today in Australia? Well, this is what I did in nature in Canada. Well, this is what I did in California in nature for the last 6 days. So it's just a day of recapping.
Let's make this so. So you have your grandsons and you and Janet or whoever wants to call me, and we'll record it as a live show right that moment. It can be any time I can hit record now, and so it doesn't have to. We have to set up any time. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be any time, any day.
And I love that. I love that idea, Barbara, that they connect to nature wherever they are in the world, and then they come on and share their experience of nature where they are. That would be beautiful.
Awesome.
Yeah, really beautiful.
And the platforms there, Barbara, we got 2 hours a day, every day, and it's there for whoever wants to purely come here and share this conversation in the heart. So for me, I don't look at it really any different if there's some kids showing up or my mom showing up. I'm like, yeah, whoever's in that house wants to come here, right? And we know that how do we want to say that man, the kids already have a voice, and this is what everyone has a voice, and to think that someone's not being heard is going back into the fear program. So just beautiful, like to go back in nature and describe that. Like otherwise, you're describing the boring thing that you really don't want to live in anymore. And we know that one. Go in nature and share with us the one now you really realize that you want to live in, you can live in. And that's the empowering part we want to share. That in the heart. And and I know for a fact, this is what I'm saying, when you only look at your so-called small world, and I'll just put that kind of word there for a moment, you're forgetting that there are beings doing this all through here, all over, all here. Because, again, I don't want to put it as a separation. Everywhere. That there are kids doing this. Don't disempower the youth to think that, man, kids need to do this. They ain't doing that. I'm like, man, that's just playing the same mind control program that was the generation before us that kind of, passed on. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. We'll stop that. And so we don't do that with our kids. I'm like, man, they're magical, mystical beings, man. Wow, they're going to be flying around here. And they're like, Mike, what are you talking about? Yeah, man, I've told you since you've ever heard me. I'm like, yeah, that Harry Potter thing, that pretty much had it kind of close, but without all that black and white and competition. Yeah, definitely not that. But in terms of the magical abilities and the wonders and the I'm like, yeah, that is more in tune with the heart and the true living that we all have here to truly express. Because this is what it's about, Colleen, expressing our true heart essence. And what I've come into knowing is that this is what we get to do. And that expression is whatever doesn't resonate with that, whatever it was in a sense stopping or hindering, resisting this is now dissolving and is being cleared, dissolving, no longer just in a sense blocking this flow. And so all that you dreamed as a kid that you wanted to do or could do, whether it was swim with the dolphins and fly through the air, pull rabbits out of thin air, whatever it may be, you now have the ability to do again, because that's what we came here to do. And so when we talk about children, I'm talking this. Don't give me any of that crap about some system that they're stuck in and that they got to do and we got to get them out of. I'm like, man, what? I don't even go there anymore, because I'm like, that is so over with in terms of what you have to share with the kids in a sense of, okay, kids, what do we want to learn today? What do we want to practice? Our true soul essence, our true, we use this word magical, but our true divine abilities that we can, that is here for us to share and love and laugh and truly have fun with. Yeah. Or I'm going to talk about the bullshit that I just went through for the so-called past whatever. Come on, which program do you want to share? The new one that they truly resonate with, and they truly are, or the one that we just went through, and that was the system of limitation and dualistic thinking and false beliefs. No, I'm not imposing that on the next so-called generation. And you do that by putting this in their head, that there's some system that they're trapped in, that they have to get out of. It's like, check this one out. It's like living your life vicariously through your kid. Tiaras and toddlers. Or sports. Or something. It's the same thing. You're just doing it in the so-called realm of spirituality or politics or religion. Same shit.
Right. No, I want to hang out at Hogwarts with the kids.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let the magic flow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful heart transmission. I just really feel tuned in, and the dream's here and true, and so great.
Yeah, beautiful.
I'll share. While we're here, I was going to think of doing it another day, but as we say, we're always in the moment now, and we can always now. I'm going to put this forward, and since we're tuned in here, this is from The Bowl of Light, and Hank Vesselman. We can say is the writer of the book, but he'll probably say it's not a book.
Came through him, yeah.
It was the conversation in the heart that he had with his brother and all of ours, brother Hale Makua.
Yeah.
Hale Kealo Halani Makua. And as he shares, immortality to you, Makua, and may profound reverence alight on you. And this is just beautiful. And the sharing that they shared forth. And this is from Hale Makua himself. And we actually come into this world as gods. It's just that we have forgotten who we really are, as well as what this really means. And so this is what we're sharing, is this is our true infinite worth. This is our true source. Is this this in the what we say is in the core of our heart, is the heart soul essence of all of us. And there's quite a few words, and they're beyond words. This is what we're sharing. They finally put it down into words. This what we'd call this truth, this love, this aloha. And he knew what he was doing, in the fact that he knew what was coming into being, and he shared this conversation in the heart with his brother, and said, please, you have my permission to share this with the world now. This is knowledge that was only verbal before. This was verbal in a tense, not from an old thought system. This was verbal, expressing the heart. Because this is shared in aloha. Aloha. And he shares that. There's a few things I wanted to. One, he talks about the dreamer. The proclamation that we are actually dreaming 24 hours a day, that the dream world is the real world, and that this physical world we all take so much for granted is a manifestation of the dream, not vice versa. The perception is always accompanied by a conviction, strongly held, that everything and every being dreams. Humans, animals, plants, rocks, rivers, mountains, the planet, our sun, and even the universe, in all its incredible diversity. This implies that everything here, including ourselves, was sourced into existence by the dream world. That we in the world that we take so much for granted are actually dreaming ourselves into existence all the time. Who
was that saying that, Mike?
This is from the Bowl of Light. This is from the Bowl of Light. This is Hank Vesselman and Holly Makua sharing the conversation in the heart. So, who is dreaming? Makua and I had discussed the Hawaiian Kahuna view that each of us possesses not one but several functionally distinct souls. A spiritual soul, oversoul, higher self that serves as the source of a soul seed that resides within us. A mental soul, ego, that we grow anew in each life. And a physical body soul, subconscious, sourced to us through our parents. From the Kahuna perspective, the mental soul does not dream. Rather, it can receive what is dreamed in dreams. And it can think about them, analyze them, and categorize them, and then create thought forms of things or goals that it wants to have or achieve in response to them. It receives information about our dreams through the body soul, the self aspect that we call the subconscious, after Jung, or the id after Freud. But this body soul does not dream either. Makua revealed to me that the body soul is where the doorway into the inner worlds of spirit is located. This is the portal that is positioned within us, within our heart to be specific. This is why the heart is regarded by mystics the world over as the visionary gateway. And seen from this perspective, this gateway is much like the modem built into your computer. The portal itself is none other than that spark of light that we received from our immortal self, the oversoul, when we drew our first breath. That seed of light that resides within our heart serves as a conduit that links us to our immortal spiritual oversoul. And this is the self aspect that resides always in the level of the dreaming. Dreaming is a verb. And I am intentionally using the word dreaming rather than dream. Dream is a noun and refers to a specific and usually idiosyncratic, distinctly individual dream that we may have, but dreaming is a verb, implying a continuous flow of ongoing process. This is a good way to describe the spirit world, which in fact it is. Again, the heart is the portal within the body soul that gives us access to our oversoul field, our spirit self that resides within the dreaming. As Makua so wisely pointed out to me. So who is dreaming? It is none other than our higher self, our oversoul, our Amakua, who serves as our personal creator at the beginning of life and the repository to which our soul complex returns at the end of each reincarnational cycle. And that is now, as we live and breathe. It is our oversoul who dreams and who is dreaming right now, even as I write these words where I am and you read them wherever you are. The keys to the kingdom are ours to claim when we understand who we are and where we are, as well as how we are put together. But who dreamed it? We did. That is, our oversouls dreamed it, and this concludes all the oversoul fields of every living thing that makes up nature. According to the Gnostics, it was the great wisdom goddess, the one they called Sophia, who initially dreamed humanity, the anthropos, into being. And our solar system? From the mystical perspective, this end was and will always be sourced by the dreaming of the solar being that we call the sun. And since our star's dream also includes the dreaming of everything in its system, ultimately our dreams are the sun's dreams. In the mystic perspective, this world, co-created by our sun in the dream of Sophia, is the ephemeral because the law of evolution on the physical plane is and will always be that everything changes. The fabric of the spirit world, on the other hand, is eternal. And once something has come into being, both here and there, it is woven into the tapestry of the dreaming forever. And forever is a long time. This is just a little bit longer, a little bit more here. And he states something so well here. He goes, okay, the Kahuna mystics knew from their direct experience that the dream world, spirit world, and the dreaming are most definitely not illusions, despite what Buddhists and Western psychologists may proclaim. Nor is our oversoul an illusion. They are real. Our personal oversoul is also the wise being who may provide us with instant downloads about what we need to know at any given point in time. It may do this through dreams, visions, slips of the tongue, and ideas that pop into our heads in response to need. It is the source of the faculty we call intuition, insight, or inspiration. Our oversoul is our primary spirit teacher, yet it never tells us what to do or where to go. That is the ego's job. Our mental soul, that thinks and makes decisions, our inner director. The body soul, the subconscious, is the servant who does what it's told. According to the directives it receives from the inner director, the mental self aspect. But the oversoul, our immortal spirit, is the dreamer who dreams, and the one through whom we perceive the dreamtime of spirit world. And there is no question that we, as sentient, self-aware beings, are world-class dreamers. And this conveys to each of us an awesome responsibility. In considering the state of our world today, the time has come for us all to dream well. Thank you, Hale Makua and Hank. Aloha.
Aloha.
So, as we've been sharing, in Gaia Sophia dreaming, and why it resonates so with our hearts. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful, Mike. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. You're very beautiful.
And what he further shares, it's all done with in aloha.
Yes.
All right. So thank you all for tuning in, guys. Sophia Dreaming. Much love and gratitude. Thank you, Janet. Thank you. Barbara, thank you.
Thank
Pauline,
you, Mike.
Alveda, Clarity, all for tuning in. Ooh.
Oh, I love it. Beautiful.
And let's thank the Blog Talk lady.